Hello and welcome to another episode of the MTG Arena Run. We're already going to be doing our post-mortem on the Brazen Coalition deck, and we're going to fix up some of the issues that we have here. First of all, we have a very good let's say we have a very decent bottom end. We have a very good low curve. The problem is our higher curve up here, 3 and 4, no, 4 and 5. These are a bit on the high end. Also, we never got to play the Fell flagship, but it's a good way to pump. It gives us a bigger body. This one's okay. The one that's not okay is the Pirate's Cutlass. Sure, the first time you pay for it, it's quite good. It's not even quite good. It's 3 mana for +2/+1 on a creature, and you have to start paying 2 mana just to rebuy it back. So put on your other creatures. So maybe not so great. Generally, +2/+1. Heck, if you remember from the Merfolk deck, one with the wind, it was +2/+2 and flying. Sure, you didn't keep the enchantment, but if the creature died, but in this case, we're not gonna have much time buying things back. If we get to the point where we can repay the equip cost, we are probably losing. So we're gonna drop the Pirate's Cutlass. We're gonna drop our high casting cost spells. Darkfleet Ravager has to go. Also helps that it's double black, so we're gonna drop that one. Let's see what else gotta go. Stormfleet Arsonist. Sure, it's nice that they sacrifice a permanent, but at this stage of the game, 5 mana, sometimes they're just happy to sacrifice a land. So that's gotta go. So, let's see what else we can take out. Buccaneer's Bravado. Decent combat trick. Sometimes you might get them with the double strike. Let's leave that there for now. So we took out the 2/5 drops, leaving Captivating Crew, but Darkfleet Neckbreaker. This one's our other pump spell, in a sense. On one, we never got to play with Captivating Crew, but what this guy does is, he's a 4/3 for 4 mana, and if we spend 4 mana, we can gain control of a creature an opponent controls, and we untap it, we get to attack with it for 1 turn. This is usually good. Sometimes all it just takes is 1 activation, so I want to leave this in. I also want to leave the Darkfleet Neckbreakers in as well. Let's see where else we can make adjustments. Okay, Stormfleet Swashbuckler. This guy has a send. We were able to trigger it once. We probably could have won the game then, but take note that we've already removed the Pirate's Cutlass, so it will combo with the Neckbreakers. Let's see. No, there's another one. Fathom Fleet Firebrand. Yeah, this is the one that's gotta go. This one's just basically a 2/2 for 2 mana. Sure, you can pump it, but you want to be spending your mana on anything but pumping. That's gonna get so taken out of context. We will keep Fathom Fleet Captain. This is one way to maintain our reach. So Goblin Trailblazer, 2/1 with Menace. No, that one goes. Grasping Scoundrel, +1/+0. So it's a 2/1 for 1 mana as long as it's attacking. Actually, we have better 1-drops. We're gonna stick with our red 1-drops. So Rigging Runner, we want 4 of these. Let's see. Daring Buccaneer, we kind of want 4 of these as well. Darkfleet Captain, sure, it gets bigger. The nice thing about this guy is that his toughness also gets bigger. We'll add 1 more of him. We'll add 2 copies of the Poisoner. He's a good combat trick. Fanatical Firebrand, we'll leave him as a 1. We'll leave it as is. Actually, let's rephrase that. Darkfleet Captain, we can keep it down to 2. We want the pirates that can sneak past. So I actually want Kitesail Freebooter. Sure, the times we cast this pirate, we weren't able to get anything out of our opponent's hands, but it's a good way to know the situation, even if it means we're about to lose. So I'm gonna bump her up to 3. Probably drop March to the Drowned. We'll drop Puncturing Blow. Reaver Ambush. Okay, exiles target creature with power 3 or less. It won't hit our opponent's big creatures, but it's a good way around it. But it will clear the board for the most part. We'll take another one. Actually, no. We'll drop the Reaver Ambushes. We'll instead replace it with Walk the Plank. Sure, it's dead against Merfolk. It's a dead card against Merfolk, but that's where Abrades and Lightning Strikes and Magma Sprays come in. So now we just need to make adjustments there. Fiery Cannonade also helps. We'll definitely drop the Buccaneer's Bravado then. And let's see. Okay, yeah, we're about 10% left on that super boss. Fathom Fleet Captain, yeah, they'll keep. Actually, let's see what. Actually, there is one high casting cost spell I'm thinking of. This one's just for consideration. Okay, there is a black-red Planeswalker in Standard right now. Let's take a look at it more clearly. So it's Angrat the Flame Chained, legendary Planeswalker. He comes in, is 5 to cast, comes in with 4 loyalty. He has his +1 ability. Each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life, so that gives us some reach. It's in the later game. -3, we gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it. Gains haste until end of turn. If its converted mana cost is 3 or less, it doesn't go back to the opponent. It gets sacrificed. So this might be a better replacement to Captivating Crew. Sure, the Captivating Crew is a body in its own, but there's a difference between just spending loyalty and spending 4 mana for the ability. Then -8, each opponent loses life equal to the number of cards in his or her graveyard. Well, more realistically, we're aiming to use the -3 and the +1, so I'm gonna replace Captivating Crew with 1 copy of Angrat. And thinking of it, Angrat is probably better than either the is probably much better than the Direfleet Marauder. I believe that's what it's called. No, it's better than the Direfleet Ravager in my opinion. It's also better than Stormfleet Arsonist. It's much more flexible in that sense. We'll keep Captain Lannery's Storm. Let's see what other. We're definitely gonna bump up our removal. So Lightning Strike +1. Actually, right now it's Magma Spray. This hits creatures only. So I'm willing to replace that with Shivan Fire. Sure, this is weaker against this is worse when you're dealing with Embalm. But sometimes we just need to be able to remove a 4 toughness creature. It won't answer a big 5 toughness like Lyra Dawnbringer, the 5/5 angel with almost every important ability in the planet. I guess in that case we'll drop the Fell Flagship then, since we're keeping the Neckbreakers after all. So Stormfleet Swashbuckler is gonna go. So I dropped the Magma Sprays. I'm gonna bring it up to 3 Lightning Strikes. That's the 3rd mountain. 3 Lightning Strikes, 2 Abrades. Okay, we're gonna replace the Cinder Barons. One mountain and 1 swamp for Dragon Skull Summit. Oh. They managed to defeat the boss already. Oh well, so I get to claim my loot later. Anyway, so we're gonna definitely add 4 copies of Dragon Skull Summit. Nothing wrong. Sure, this is a bit painful when we do have a good number of 1-drops. In fact, an argument can be made for keeping this at 3 copies only, but they're definitely better than Cinder Baron, so we'll keep it at that. Alternately, if we're not all in on the pirate team, we can our top ends could be creatures like Glorybringer, which is great, 4/4 haste for 5 and can deal 4 damage to a non-dragon creature. Verix Bladewing, 4/4 flyer for 4. Sometimes if you can pay the extra mana, that's 3. You get 2 4/4s for 7 mana. So let's okay, so my friend's a bit salty right now. Anyway, okay, correction. My friend's very salty right now. He does he doesn't realize that that I'm recording right. Oh well. Shout out to my friend Josh D. We collab from time to time on our group website, on our group's comedy page, Noodles Ahoy. You might have seen it on the side. Perhaps if you have time or if you could check it out. Anyway, let's see what are other pirate options before we set the deck as is and give it a check. Captain's Hook. No need. No, this is for people who want to be pirates. So we're definitely going to be looking at pirates that cost 3 or less. And not 3 or less and not blue. Actually, we do have options for this. Deadeye Tracker is an interesting option. It's more for the Explore deck than the Pirate deck, but it is one way to get some card draw. Actually, one thing we need to look out for is more card draw. That's something to keep in mind. Right now we're just literally creatures and removal, and that's it. So I think we can make some adjustments here. Let's see. If we're really desperate, we can actually play Desperate Castaways. No, not these guys. There's another 2-drop that's actually quite good. Darfleet Hoarder, 2/1 for 2 mana. When it dies, it gives us a treasure. Darfleet Daredevil. Actually, this Darfleet Daredevil would be an interesting addition. This is actually more of a late game drop. It's a 2/1 that allows us to cast spells from our opponent's graveyard. It doesn't have flash, so we're not gonna be stealing counter spells from the control decks, but it could be a way for us to get some additional advantage from our opponents. If I were to take the Darfleet Daredevil, let's see, what would we remove? Captain's quite aggressive. Neckbreaker's aggressive. Poisoner is our combat trick and acts as removal. Fanatical Firebrand. Actually, I will drop Fanatical Firebrand then. We already have 8 1-drops at this point. So I'm going to try out Darfleet Daredevil then. No, not that costs 4. If you think that 4 Daring Buccaneers and 4 Rigging Runners is too much, I guess you could drop some of these in favor of Fanatical Firebrands or maybe some additional removal spells. Let's see. No, we dropped those for a reason. Fiery Cannonade, 3 mana, deals 2 damage to each non-pirate creature. I guess what we can do is we can just force too much. Actually, I'm just gonna bring it down to 2. Let's see. Grasping we dropped that for a reason. Drop Goblin Trailblazer for that reason too. Headstrong Brute's an interesting option. 3 mana, 3/3. Actually has evasion if we have another pirate. Let's analyze our deck right now. If we have some gaps in the 3-drop slot, we can put some of these on the top end. And yeah, we're mostly 2-drops. I think we can afford to. Let's see where 2-drop. Starfleet Captain, Forerunner of the Coalitions are 3-drop. Yeah, we could use on Captain Lanry Storm. Yeah, we could use some more 3-drops. I think I'm gonna drop the braids down to its original 1 copy. Could just drop it all together in favor of 4 lightning strikes. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Sure. If ever the meta in Magic Arena starts supporting Construct Tribal or some major artifact, I guess we can put back the Abrade, but at least Lightning Strike does the same thing to creatures but can also hit the player as well. So I know it's not standard legal, but this way we know our mana distribution's good, but we need to change our 2-drop slot. Got 3 Kite Seal. I like that Poisoner's a combat trick. Goes well with our Rigging Runner. I'm gonna just keep the Neckbreakers and drop the Direfleet Captains altogether. So that fixes that. So let's go look at our pirates again. And only the black and red ones. And I want to go to the end of the lists. So because there is another. So yeah, we have some space for Headstrong Brutes. I'm gonna put 1 in for now. Kari Zev Skyship Raider. Unfortunately, no Kaladesh yet. She would fit in quite well though. So we have. Okay, we remove March of the Drawn because we have no plans of buying our stuff back. Pirates Pillage. This is a card draw spell. Gives us some mana back. Costs 4, and we have to discard the card first. It's also sorcery. Pitiless Plunder. No. Rowdy Crew. 3/3 that's sometimes a 5/5. No, we're aiming for 1s, 2s, and 3s. Ruin Raider is our. Okay, this one's another way for us to get some card advantage. Basically, we attack first, then we drop our Ruin Raider, then we get a card at the end step. So it buys itself back. I might actually prefer this over the. I might actually prefer one of these over the Headstrong Brute. I'm just gonna leave both of them there for now. Arsonist and Pyromancer are too expensive. Yeah, Wanted Scoundrels. This one, 4/3 for 2 mana, but if it dies, our opponent gets 2 treasures. Do we have creatures that are much better that we would rather our opponent just be willing to kill this one? Because the nice thing is this guy can actually trade up to some of the mid-tier dinosaurs, like Trashing Brontodon's a 3/4. This can even trade up with not Ripjaw Raptor, but the 4/4 Flash dinosaur. This one can trade with it, but I probably don't want it to trade that either. So we drop that. Swab Goblin. Plain Goblin. Wily Goblin. 2/2 gives us a treasure. We're not aiming to accelerate. 3 mana is quite good already. Tomb Robber. Discard card. We get an Explore, has Menace. We're not aiming for the Explore route, but we do need to find a way to get some card advantage. So I'm gonna go 2 Ruin Raiders. Actually, no. I'm gonna just increase the Forerunner of the Coalition. Since this one can get most of our stuff, by the time we're able to cast Forerunner, we can cast most of these guys and the guys we tutor for. In fact, let's do that. Let's make a Singleton Ruin Raider. So let's take a look at our 3 drops that we can afford to keep one of. Lannery Storm, check. Ruin Raider, check. And we can search for a cheaper drop or even just a 2 drop if we have another land in hand. So this is probably the first time we'll go 4-off with Forerunner. Also, these guys work very well in the chain, especially if our opponent can't remove the ones on board already. This is another way of getting advantage. Basically, we need to get our opponent down in life as soon as possible. So I guess we can check this out now, see what the deck is like. And okay, mana distribution's good. Note we only have 23 lands, so definitely want very few on this top end. In fact, as we saw from the last games, we definitely want to mulligan any hand that has that has 2 out of 3 of these guys. Maybe even just 1 out of 3, but the rest are on the 3 casting cost. We definitely want an aggressive hand, about 2 drops or 2 1 drops, 1 2 drops, something along that combination. Besides, we have 26 creatures. We're quite aggressive here. We're also all in on the lightning strikes. We have some ways to deal more damage. We don't have that much mana, so unlike the Sun Empire deck where we can take advantage of the kicker, we won't be able to take advantage of any kicker shenanigans. In fact, the Fathom Fleet Captain is probably the only mana sink we have, but we're okay with that because the tokens have evasion of their own. So this is our Post-Mortem on the new Brazen Coalition deck. Actually, I think this is much better in terms of curve, much better in terms of what we got. They probably should fix the color scheming, I guess, but let's think what other options that we have for lands. We really want to have a lot of our lands come untapped, especially the mountains. So definitely we're not playing with I guess we could play Ramunap Ruins while we still don't have a complete standard yet. Alternate that would be a red. For those who don't know, Ramunap Ruins, it's a desert, taps for colorless, or you can pay 1 life to tap for red mana, or you can tap 4 mana total, 2 of which is red. Sacrifice a tap the ruins itself, sacrifice a desert, most likely the ruins, gets to deal 2 damage to target opponent or each opponent. I'm so used to single one-on-one games, so I sometimes miss that distinction. Either case, that is another way to get reach, but we'll just be aiming for the Forerunner of Coalition instead. So we have a ton of so we have several good 4-offs here, several good. And our deck is a lot more streamlined at this point. So probably a few 1-offs courtesy of Forerunner. That's another way to get around it, I guess. So anyway, that's the deck. If you enjoy what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll probably visit another quick constructed another stock deck this week. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time.